not just from the level of, yes, this is a company where I can make money from, but people have been really looking for something that's real, where it's not just about the money, but it's also about the culture. It's also about the company. It's also about what the people behind the company stand for. And so that's why we're here, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to start off by saying that one of the things that you need to realize is that we are in a pre-launch status. Now, this is really good. I've always kind of jokingly said, hey, pre-launches are not for the faint of heart. And I do mean that because it kind of reminds me of when you watch, one of these movies where there's, some police, detective that's out there trying to solve a crime. He gets a call, and it's the first guy on the scene. And, he'll go in, he'll kick the door down, and he's the first one through the door. And usually that guy is going to, get a bloody eye, get a bloody nose. Maybe you'll lose a couple of teeth in the process. But at the end of the movie, or at the end of the 30-minute show of NYPD Blues, what winds up happening is that's the guy that gets to take his picture with the mayor. He gets a check from the city. He gets a key to the city. He gets the medals. He gets the awards. He gets, if there's a girl at the end, he's the one that gets married. And he's the hero, right? He goes from being the guy through the door that got kicked around a little bit, but he comes out at the other end as a hero of that movie. So pre-launches are like that, guys. And so we've had some first movers that have taken positions in really, really quickly early on. That's the first group that we're talking to right now. And then, of course, the second group of people, which is a massive, massive amount of people that have come in, that we are so very blessed to have them on the team. And so we're all one family, but we need to understand how this massive growth, and in the manner of how it grew, has caused a little bit of an adjusting period. And so those are the things that we want to address. And that happens in a pre-launch, folks. And it's nothing that is new to the industry. It's not new, certainly, to myself, and being a part of many launches before over the years, and really understand what that looks like. But so what I want you to understand is that in this period of time, when these next 40 days that we go into the official launch of the company, there's going to be that adjustment period, and that adjusting is getting adjusted very, very quickly, very rapidly, because one of the things that we want to address right now is what's on most people's minds is commission runs. And that's very important for the company. We take that very, very seriously. Armando takes that very seriously. I take that very seriously because, I'm part of the field. I believe in, my first mentor in this industry said two things to me that a company needs to do. And one of those things is to pay on time. And the second thing is to provide products and services on time. So the deliverables, and actually be able to pay. So the first thing, because you're going to understand that when I say that up until this point, you may have not had communication, but you're going to understand why in the next few slides, why that has happened. But at the same time, I want you to know that it is not the company's intention not to pay. Quite the contrary. What you need to understand is that this webinar presentation today, the information that we're covering right now, is because exactly the opposite. The company absolutely wants you to pay. So when there's no communication, then people make assumptions, and the people that are here that said, hey, we've gone to work, we took first movers advantage, we started telling people, I have my team over here, and yet, I haven't gotten a commission. And so when people aren't hearing what the reality is and what's happening, they will make assumptions. And what I want to clear up right here, right now, is that assumption is is incorrect. So don't jump to those assumptions, because the company is quite the opposite. They want to make sure that people get paid. That's first and foremost. The most important thing that we're going to talk about today is making sure that everybody gets paid, but that gets paid accurately. Okay, we want to make sure that we get that right, folks, because once we get through this initial phase of being able to deal with some of the opportunities of growth, let's just call them opportunities of growth, that this massive landslide of people that have come on board, that has become a very big blessing, not just for them, but for the people that have come before, because now all of a sudden the buzz is out there. People understand that Ipro Network's here. It's here to stay. It's new. It's fresh. Has all these different benefits that are quite just relevant to Ipro Network. Nobody else has what we have, and so So that buzz that's being created by this massive amount of people that have come on board will benefit the people that came before. So it is a blessing. We're all one big family. We're just adjusting in this period of time. So in this 90-day pre-launch status that we're in, we have about 40 more days before we go into our official launch, and we are going to be able to clean all of this up in a very timely fashion. Now, why did this happen? Let's just dive into that a little bit. And again, what I'm going to share with you right now is not a criticism. It's not pointing fingers. It's just simply an observation so that you can understand the behind the scenes. And just so you know that these are conversations that we've had with the leadership. These are conversations that your upline at the very, very top, we've had conversations about this and then focused on the solution. Okay, this is where we're at, but how are we going to fix it? How are we going to move forward? And how are we going to get people paid on time? So we don't want to, number one, so I wrote some notes here so that I wouldn't lose my place. So I'm just going to kind of go through these notes really quick. Number one, company wants to pay. I already said that. So the question is, why the delay? Well, the delay is simply this. Because of assumptions that made, and again, please, this is not a criticism, it's just simply an observation. When people have been doing things or they're used to a certain way of a sign-up process, and they've been doing that for a number of years, then when they come out of that, if they don't have the right information in place, or with no ill intent, with no bad intentions, or without any malice, are given the wrong information, then it can cause chaos. And I believe that that's what happened here with some of the massive growth that we've had. So the information wasn't accurately depicted on how the sign-up process was going to be, and therefore in some of these groups, it caused an issue of giving the wrong information for the sign-up process and what that sign-up process was going to look like. And so that's one thing. Now, another thing is oversellers reps. Now remember, this is not with any malice or any bad intentions. We're actually going out there and trying to recreate what they've already experienced maybe before, and in doing so, inadvertently cause some issues in the sign-up process for not just themselves, but to members of their team. And so, some people are saying, might be thinking, well, that's not me, that doesn't affect me, so that should just affect them, so, whatever. But, the attitude that we're taking as a company is that we don't want to see anybody get hurt. We want to take that extra bit of time necessary to be able to clean it up, to make sure that everything is done accurately so that nobody gets left behind, so that nobody gets hurt. Because the worst thing that we could do at this moment is say, okay, let's run commissions, right? And whoever, made mistakes, whoever did this or whoever did that, well, it's on them. It was their fault. They have to take the accountability. Unfortunately, even though that sounds like that would be the right thing to do, people that unbeknownst to them that were actually positioned in the genealogy would actually get hurt, and we don't want that. So number one, we want to make sure that you understand in the field that that the company itself wants to pay and has the ability to run commissions. So I want you to understand that it's not that we don't, or the company doesn't want to pay, or has the inability of paying, or incompetence. It's not that. It's when you have an issue of how the information was presented during the sign-up process, then we want to make sure that that gets cleaned up first before those commission runs actually go. And in that manner, nobody gets left behind and everybody gets paid accurately. And once we go through this phase, folks, this is what's so cool about this, that once this initial phase that is actually going to go in alignment with our pre-launch, which all of this stuff should be taken care of during the pre-launch status, then we can move forward, we could move freely, we could run commissions week by week, and everybody gets paid on time what they're supposed to be getting paid. So that's how, that's a little bit of how we wound up here and where we're going to go. Now, as we go through the slides, we're going to go through also what steps are being taken proactively so that everybody can participate in getting all of this sorted out and getting fixed. Okay. So some of these things that were causing this were wrong emails. Okay, that became a challenge. And again, we're not pointing fingers. We're not saying, hey, don't go back and say, well, I was told this or I was told that. Doesn't matter. We're here. We're going to fix it. So, so when I look at the information here under my account on this tab, that's going to be that's going to be a proactive approach that a lot of people can take right now to make sure that their account information is accurate. And again, when you're adjusting to a new back office, when you're adjusting to a new system, where another system might have been slightly different, even the slightest differences can cause issues. So under account information, we want to make sure that you take a proactive approach and go in there and accurately fill out everything on this page. Remember that your information is private. No, this isn't shared with anybody else. So this is your information and yours alone. So you want to make sure that you go in there and you change all of the information that is being requested here and making sure that it's accurate. Now, another thing is that you want to make sure it's the right account, okay? This is another challenge that's happened. People have had maybe multiple accounts and then signed up people, and they don't even know which accounts actually did the signing up. And that's where forensically, right now, all of this is being cleaned up, if you will. But so you want to make sure that the account that you wish to be paid on, all of the information is accurate and it's there, and you take the time to go in there and actually do it. It's very, very simple. It's not going to take you a long time to do. It's just making sure that everything in there is accurately filled out. Now, the next place you're going to go is going to be your public information. Now, this is a little bit different than your account information. Your account information is so important because that's the one that's going to be relevant in terms of being able to get paid. Now, your public information is the information that's being displayed for everybody to see once you send out your link or your sign-up page. So this is your public information page. This is the one that the world sees when they visit your particular website. If you don't want people to know your information, then go ahead and leave this blank. Okay, so if you update this page here, it does not automatically update the other information on the account. So you want to make sure that you do both. Now, if you don't want people to see your personal information, then leave it out. But this is the public information page. So make sure that you're familiar with both of these. The account information, that one's the most important, in my opinion. This is not, for marketing purposes, is also very important. So make sure that you customize this in the way that you'd like it to be revealed. Now, the next thing that we're going to see here, and this is kind of exciting, folks, because over the last couple of days, in fact, 2 days ago, we're talking to a major leader, and he was, some of the same concerns that some of you have coming into this webinar here tonight. We were addressing those, and we were talking about them and stuff like that. And then I said, hey, look, what's going on with you? And he goes, no, all my stuff is there. All my stuff is coming up. I got all my rewards. I got all my E-WALET stuff. Everything in mine is absolutely great and accurate. So if you go into your account and click on My Rewards, this is what's going to be displayed. Now, I know that a lot of you have not seen this, and the reason I know that is because we've gotten some of the reports back from the chat, and there's people that aren't even aware that this actually exists. So when you go there, what you're looking at, this display is kind of showing you 3 different things, and there's a few buttons that are missing here because this isn't live yet, but you're going to have your rewards account, you're going to have your available rewards, and your pending rewards. Now, the rewards account section on the left side is going to be the total of your available rewards and your pending rewards combined. So let's say you had 1,000 available rewards, and these obviously are your pro rewards are what's going to be in here. So let's say you had 1,000 and 500 were pending and 500 were available. Well, over on the left side where it says rewards account, you would have a total of 1,000. So that's how that'll work. Now, this is already there, and the good news is that because of the nonstop 24/7 superhuman, super duper, uber mega effort that the company has done in terms of being able to have the right people, the right staff in place working 24/7 diligently, accurately, efficiently, and forensically to get all of these orders updated. A huge portion of you guys, when you go in there, you're going to be able to see that your rewards are already there. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a question of, I didn't even know they were there. I didn't know where to look. So this is where you go. You go to My Account, you click on My Rewards, and then you're going to find all of this information for you. All right. So personally sponsored, very simple. This is another area where you need to find out and make sure that you have your team members. You're going to be able to see their information there, email addresses and account IDs and all of that of the people that are sponsored directly by you. That's where they're going to actually show up. Now, if there's a discrepancy there, what I want you to do is don't do anything yet, okay? Because I'm going to get to a couple of slides here that are going to explain to you what's the rollout and what the solution is to, because the question is, well, how do we get 10,000 people to actually get the right information in if there is an issue? And so we've gone through great lengths to add a few things that are going to clean this up, but we all have to work as a team. So you don't have to do anything right now. I mean, just be aware if there's some discrepancies there, great, no problem. They're going to get fixed, but just kind of hang tight. Don't flood at the end of this webinar, chat support or customer service or anything like that, because what I'm going to show you towards the end is not live yet. This is in preparation of what's going to be rolled out next week to proactively, to efficiently, to fast track getting everybody up to date and cleaning all of this up so that we can move forward and get past this phase and get everybody paid accurately. So we're going to go ahead and go to the E-WALET next. The E-WALET is going to display very, very similar to the reward. So you're going to have your total, which is going to be a combination of what your available funds are and your pending funds. Now, so remember, 70% of your commissions are going to be commissions that are going to be cash. So this is basically your cash account. If I back up just real quick, let me back up to these pending rewards over here. So now we're talking about the pro rewards in this particular page. Now, when you decide you want to redeem your pro rewards, it's going to be after once the coin gets launched, once it's out on the open market, then 30 days from then, that's when we're going to start rolling that out. And subsequently, every week, 5% of what's available can be redeemed and taken to the exchange and, sold. You could trade it for any other alt currency. You could trade it for Bitcoin or Ethereum and then link it into a Coinbase account, cash it out, or do whatever you want to do. Now, so just so we're clear on this portion of it, because this is part of the program, that we're still getting a lot of questions on this. And so your pending rewards are going to be those rewards that have not passed that period of time that they need to pass in order to be moved over to the available rewards. Okay, so that's after the first 30 days, once the coin is on the market, and then subsequently it's going to be at 5% per week if you're going to take them out and sell them on the exchange. Now remember that we have a couple of things. We have the Pro Mall and we have the e-marketplace. And so from the pending rewards, whatever the amount is that's still pending, well, guess what? Or if it moves over to the available rewards, because some people, just because they're in the available rewards doesn't mean you have to take them out. That just means they're there and are available to be withdrawn and done whatever with. However, you could take the balance of the pending rewards and the available rewards and decide, hey, I want to do some shopping. There's going to be some incredible deals, because remember, the people that are behind all of this are e-commerce people. So we're going to have some incredible deals on those malls, and you might decide, oh my gosh, I could save, 30, 40%, 20% on some item that you absolutely must have. And if you have the funds available here and you want to use them for that, you can absolutely do that. And you don't have to wait for the traditional waiting period for redeeming those particular rewards. You could use them as shopping credits immediately. 100% of whatever your pending or your current balance is, you could go ahead and use those immediately. So just wanted to make sure that you guys had clarity on that and really understood that there's a difference between actually taking them out, selling them on the exchange, and turning them into another alt currency or even Bitcoin or Ethereum and putting them to your bank account, because that's going to be at 5% a week until you're done with all of that. Also, the 30% that is paid out as pro rewards in terms of the commissions that you earn, it's a 70-30 split. Those will also go through those redemption periods in order to go on the cryptocurrency exchanges and be sold. So, but if you're going to be using whatever's here to shop with, you can go ahead and shop immediately, because we want that. We want the usability of the pro to be these pro rewards to actually be working towards getting this the exposure it needs to really go to a whole nother level. Now that's a whole nother conversation, so I'll leave that there for now and move forward here. Okay, so available rewards, it's going to work much the same way. You're going to have your pending funds, you're going to have your available funds, and both of those totals are going to be where it says total balance. So when you request this, and you're not seeing the buttons here, but you'd be able to request your funds. It'll be another little button that'll be on here. Once you click that button, it's going to take you to the next page, which is going to be where you're going to be able to withdraw your commissions and then direct them to your bank account. Okay, so this is really, really cool. You go in there, it'll take you just a few minutes to link your bank account information in there, and then go ahead and withdraw the money that comes from your available balance that is ready to withdraw. You take it out, you get paid, no problem. Okay, now there's a couple of other things that you can do with that iWallet. You're going to be able to use that iWallet to purchase other products and services that we may have. Some people may decide that they want to buy e-profit system packages, okay, ranging from the $50 yearly activation membership e-gift card to the basic package, the intermediate package, and you know, I didn't have enough space to actually put the whole all of the cards that are in there, but all of those cards, folks, are really the value of the packages ranging from the basic all the way to the professional. And so those e-gift cards are going to be there where you're going to be able to purchase these and then hand them out and give them away for people that actually would, you know, if you wanted to give it away to somebody to participate in the program, you could definitely do so. So these are the gift cards that are actually going to be available. So once you complete the order, you will get a confirmation when you purchase or use your iWallet funds to purchase these e-gift cards. So here's a couple of snapshots to kind of show you what it's going to look like in the back office, because that was a little bit reduced there. So there's the $100 basic package, the $500 intermediate package that comes with the basic package included in the package. As you see, the price is there, the $500, and then it comes with the packages that are included, the basic and the intermediate. And then $1,500. Now, the reason why we're going by pricing here in the name Basic, Intermediate, Accelerated without identifying everything that's on there is because as we add, and again, I don't want to talk about that. I'm not going to open up a whole dialogue here what's coming soon, but there are other products and services that are going to be offered that are going to fit within the e-profit learning system. So the e-profit learning system is basically being able to give somebody a business, an education that allow them to become an entrepreneur, whether that's in the area of e-commerce or that's in the area of something else. The pricing is still going to follow the Basic, Intermediate, Accelerated all the way up to the $5,500 package. So that's why they're listed in this fashion. Now, in this particular case, the $5,500 package includes everything that's listed there, and that's the format that we're going to have moving forward with everything that's a product for the e-profit learning system. Now, the other products that are going to be coming on board will also have a minimum of 100% of the price of those products and services in coinback as well. Okay, so here is the e-profit system. One of the cool things is that whatever you have in your iWallet, you could use that to upgrade into another package. So if you decided not to withdraw your commissions because you don't want to spend them, you actually want to use them to purchase an e-profit system, then you would simply upgrade your package by picking and using the commissions that are in your iWallet to be able to do so. So that's pretty cool. You could do that from this page. So a lot of the stuff that you see here, you're going to start seeing this very, very quickly because it's already obviously developed. It's just going to pop up in your back office very, very quickly as we move forward here in the next couple of weeks. So it could be used for the difference between the packages, and if there's still a difference in terms of the pricing because the commissions do not cover the full amount of the package upgrade, you could use whatever portion you want from your E-WALET and then just pay the difference. Okay, now we're getting to the part that I'm super excited about, folks, because really, you know, this was brilliant. It's a brilliant way to actively have the whole entire database be proactive in helping us through getting everybody paid accurately. And so this, over the last 6 days, I would say, a lot of programming has happened in the back office where you're going to start to see this next week pop up in your back office. Now, you don't have to worry about every single thing that I'm saying right now, folks, because you're going to have a very step-by-step instructional video and webinars that are going to walk you through step-by-step what you need to do. Some of it I've already covered, obviously email address and some of the things that you see here I just kind of covered and touched on. But you're not going to see this yet. But this is the solution. So I need everybody to pay ultra care and really listen in and really tune in, because this is what's going to expedite everything to be able to accurately run commissions. Once you go through this verification process, that's going to start from email address to tax ID to my sponsor, to making sure that you are correctly identifying who your sponsor is, and verify all of this information, it's going to walk you through, when you click on these, it's going to walk you through what you need to do. So if, like, for example, if you click on yes, email address is correct, okay, then you move to the next one. If it's not, then it's going to say, well, no, then it's going to automatically direct you and force you to go in there and fix it. So this is how we proactively get everybody behind. So this isn't something that you're going to call chat or call support. No, this is you doing this. Nobody's going to do this for you guys. This is what everybody needs to pay close attention, because coming next week, you're going to be responsible for this checklist in your account, which we prefer it to be the account that you actually want to get paid on. So that's why when you verify this, you're going to be saying, hey, this is the account that I am working, this is my account, and this is all that, you know, you're going to check off on all of these things to make sure that you get paid. Your orders, you want to make sure that you have the right order that was processed, my personally sponsored team members, making sure that all of that is accurate, and then your initial team structure. So again, once again, this is something that pay attention to what I'm saying, but don't concern yourself with it until you see it pop up in your back office, and we're going to be doing another update call. We're going to be sending out emails. We're going to be sending all of that out. Now, if you're wondering why you haven't had a lot of communication from the company, it was because a lot of those emails have been cleaned up so that we can actually blast out communications that you would actually get and not go through 10 different email addresses that were incorrectly placed into the genealogy, which would all that would do would cause an issue with spam laws and all that kind of stuff. So again, now you're getting the picture of why the communication hasn't been as thorough as it should have been, is because you would have been gotten it anyway because of the wrong information that was being placed in these multiple accounts. All right, so now that we kind of get a picture of this, let me just end this. As you see this develop next week, guys, this is where we all are going to work as a team. This is where all the leadership, I'm talking to the leadership right now, because we're not going to get everybody. And the reason we're not going to get everybody from an email is because a lot of them are still going to have wrong information. So the leaders know who they need to contact, and they need to make it sure that those people are contacting the people, and then we're just going to go down because all of this is going to be in the back office, but we need to educate people. We need to equip them, and we need to steer them to the solution, because what we really want to do is get through this process so that everybody gets paid, but that nobody gets hurt and nobody gets left behind, because unbeknownst to them, somebody signed them up without their knowledge, and then all chaos is going to break loose. We don't want that. We want to make sure that everybody's happy and everybody gets paid for what they've done. So let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit and really understand what Pro is all about. And this is important, folks. And so I'm going to shift gears a little bit. And again, this is in the spirit of really trying to embrace a long-term play here. We're not here to be a fly-by-night operation. We're not here to, to just make, money, well, we are here to make money. Let me rephrase that. Yes, we want to make money, but we want to make sure that this is long-term and that we're doing the things that are going to allow us to enjoy this opportunity, because there's a lot of people, like I said before, that have that buzz, that have that feeling that, hey, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been praying for. And we have it here, and so we're excited about it. But we want to make sure that in that excitement that we're not doing the wrong things. So we have to have a really clear understanding of what Ipro Network is and what Ipro Network is not. And I think that we'll learn more from what it's not than what it is, because and it's so funny. It was such an education and such a privilege to be out there working in the field and talking to people. And I remember I had a conversation on I believe it was a Friday before the Saturday event in Tennessee, and one of the gentlemen was asking me, hey, what are the 3 things that I absolutely need to know to be successful here? And I said, well, number 1, you need to understand what our culture is. You need to understand what our identity is as a company and what we stand for. And I think that in the excitement of talking about digital currency and the excitement of talking about blockchain technology, we kind of leave out the most important components of what Ipro Network really is. And remember that this is a platform that's being built to really bring together 3 different industries. And those 3 different industries are, all of them in the billions, if not trillions of dollars in business. One of those is e-commerce, obviously, and there you see Amazon and Shopify is kind of a representative of that industry. And then you see Pro, and Pro is representative of digital currency, and that's exciting, that's great. Then you have Ipro Network, which is representative of innovation, and that innovation comes from being able to have a coin-back program. Now, that being said, Ipro Network does not own Pro, and Pro does not own Ipro Network. Pro is a currency, okay? Pro is separate and distinct, okay? And this is very important that you understand. And the reason why that's important is because I've had people ask questions like, does Ipro Network have an exclusive with Pro? Absolutely not, nor we would want that. It's kind of like saying, hey, this is our company, and in this company, we're the only one that will actually accept dollars. So which means, if somebody wanted to pay in euros, we wouldn't accept them. Or if somebody wanted to pay with yens, we wouldn't accept them. That's not how commerce works. So Pro was developed to specifically be a real currency that operates in the world of commerce, so that we use Pro, not we as an Ipro Network. I'm saying we as people, we as people that use any currency, whether within Ipro Network or outside of Ipro Network, that Pro is used in the world at large as a currency within the digital currency world. So that's very important that you understand and have clarity that we do not own Pro, nor do we control it. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Now, the reason why that gentleman's conversation was so powerful for me was because he had a lot of the components of talking about digital currency and some of the cool highlights about that. He had that down pat. But what he failed to, and I don't want to use the word fail, but what he was not able to articulate as clearly as what he was able to talk about Pro and what the potential of that could potentially mean for somebody. When we got to the nitty gritty, when I said, well, explain to me what it is that we sell, there was a disconnect there. There was a disconnect. And this was somebody that was super excited, super positive, pumped up, wanted to tell the world. However, didn't clearly understand what it is that we're selling. And you have to understand that for you to be a legitimate company, you have to be selling products and services of value that have value outside of just an opportunity, that has been slapped with a compensation plan and has been labeled a network marketing company. So what I want you to understand is that what we have in terms of creating e-commerce entrepreneurs is probably one of the most brilliant things that Ipro Network has. Because think about this for a second, folks. As we move forward, and I think that a lot of you, well, actually the people that were in Tennessee got to see this. Let me go ahead and pause my screen really quickly here, just for a sec. Let me go ahead and pause my screen. All right, hang on a sec, guys. I'm going to bring something up here. I don't think I have it on the screen here. Let's see. I have it here. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to do a little maneuvering here. But if you could, in the chat box, can you see e-commerce growth at the top of the slide? Does everybody see that? Or no? Can you just type in chat real quick? Do you see it? Okay. All right. Good. I think, okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the reason why being able to produce new entrepreneurs in the e-commerce space is because that is the shift. See, this is an industry, folks, that has grown exponentially. I mean, Amazon alone, 1,910% growth. Now, look at the left side here. It says brick and mortar retail. And if you look at the market value in 2006 of Best Buy, Macy's, Kohl's, and Sears, was in the multiple billions of dollars. Best Buy, 28.4 billions, about half of that today in just 10 years. And now what they sell is so super cool, guys. They sell technology. They sell all the latest and greatest toys that you would want to have in your house, that you would want to wear, that you would want to have in your pocket. I mean, that's Best Buy, and they've dropped by half. Okay, so if you're not as cool as Best Buy, what chance do you have? Well, let's take a look at Sears. Not as cool, right? Their product line is not as cool as Best Buy's. They had 27.8, but this is not a criticism about Sears. I love Sears, but they were at almost 30 billion, folks, and they're struggling to keep on to 1.3 billion in the same amount of time. So what you need to realize here is that there has been a shift in how we are choosing to spend our money. Now, folks, when you look at click and order, and you have Amazon, and then we could add to that eBay, we could add to that Facebook, we could add to that Google. Now, I don't have the stats on this slide of those entities, but I know that over the last 4 years, those combined have done about 250 to 300% growth. But you got Amazon here in the last decade, 1,910% growth. Now, I'm asking you this. If you're an entrepreneur, okay, if you're an entrepreneur, and now I get it, oh, well, I don't want to learn all that stuff. I don't want to geek out. I don't want to do anything of that nature. Well, then let me tell you a little story, folks, okay? One of my top leaders got involved with e-commerce about a year and a half ago. And I pretty much lost him. He said, hey, you know what, Danny? I love networking. And he's a seven-figure earner. And he said, I'm retired. Okay, this is a guy that drives a Bentley, has an Aston Martin, and when he's slumming it, he drives a Range Rover. And he's like, I'm done with networking. I'm done. I'm going to be e-commerce 1,000%. That's what I want to do. And then he found that when he got into it, oh my God, I got to learn about this. I got to learn about that. I got to learn about Shopify. I got to learn about sourcing products. I got to do all these things. And that wasn't him. That wasn't his personality. He was not that guy. But what he did is he recognized that there was a real opportunity for growth within e-commerce because of the numbers that you guys are seeing on the screen right now. And so what he did was something very, very intelligent. He partnered up with another gentleman that had the technical skills, that had the technical knowledge. And guess what? They built a business in a year and a half that right now is producing sales of $5,000 per day in e-commerce, learning how to source products and putting them on the Shopify store. That's what we have, guys. This is a real opportunity for people to really get behind e-commerce. And so when we look at that, and you know, when he partnered up with this gentleman and actually did this phenomenal business of being able to produce $5,000 in sales on autopilot every day while you're sleeping, I mean, that's a great story. And so what you need to understand is that what we have in terms of the education that we provide. Now, can you guys see my screen? I'm sorry, guys. I just want to make sure that you guys are able to see my screen. Okay, great. Let me go ahead and pause my screen real quick. I'm going to go back to the presentation that I had just a minute ago because I want to go through that and finish that up. So give me just a quick second here. All righty. I think we're good here. Can you guys see my screen now? We should be looking at the slide that says, what is Ipro Network? Do you guys see that? Okay, good. Thank you so much. All right, so let's continue on here. So when you think about what I just showed you, okay, that was the part of the conversation that kind of went downhill when I was talking to this gentleman in Tennessee, because he really didn't know what we had. And that's what's, you know, to me is such a big and exciting part of what we have, is that we could really, for the first time ever, guys, really say, hey, we got a business within a business within a business. That's huge, because I remember when I first got dragged into this industry kicking and screaming, I told my brother-in-law, this is, you know, I'd never been in the industry before. I did my list. I did the friends and family. I went crazy, and I was traveling from here to there, and I was having meetings at McDonald's. I was meeting people at Starbucks. I was meeting people in their homes. I was meeting people at an office that I rented, and I was meeting people in hotels, and I was meeting people out of town. And then I told my brother-in-law, and I said, hey, man, you should join me, man. This is a home-based business. And he said, Danny, for a home-based business, you sure do a lot of running around. So what he basically was saying is like, oh my gosh, that really doesn't look like a home-based business. But guess what? E-commerce, guys, that's a home-based business. It's a real home-based business. It's such a powerful model. And what we have in terms of training, folks, what you guys are about to have over the next couple of weeks access to, has gone through 60,000 other people that have testimonials, that have had success, that have ranged from a few $1,000s in profit all the way to 7 figures. And when you realize how powerful that model is, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is bigger than what I thought it was when I first joined in, because I was excited about digital currency, but I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. And this is great, because for the first time ever, this is what and I'm kind of taking these words from one of my very good friends. He says, for the first time ever, we have something for the person that wants to build, right? And usually, hey, and let's just be honest, some of the biggest people that make it in network marketing, this isn't everybody, but typically are those people that are extroverts, that love running around and talking to people, and the 3-foot rule and sharing and all that stuff. And that's great. But for the other people, you know, they have that entrepreneur spirit. They want to do it. Well, if they can do it, I can do it too. But somehow, some way, you know, that kind of gets lost a little bit for that introvert. Well, guess what? We have something for the introvert as well. And then for that person that says, hey, I don't have time. Well, guess what? We have this coin-back program that is perfect for people that don't have time. So we have a little bit for everybody. So you need to be able to clearly articulate that, number one, we are a company that sells e-commerce trainings, and we offer a coin-back program with that. And the reason we chose Pro is on the next slide here. So let's take a look at that. Why Pro? Well, this goes back to kind of wanting to be a part of something that was separate and distinct from everything that was out there. Now, I'm not going to keep you, because I've already kept you on here for a good, 50 minutes, and I just want to wrap it up here real quick. But I want you to understand that Pro, as a currency in the digital space, has gone through every single thing that a real cryptocurrency needs to go through in terms of checks and balances, in terms of the technology, in terms of the blockchain, in terms of the algorithm, in terms of the encryption, and has been verified by third parties to be able to say, okay, this is real, this is a real currency. Even to having a 32-page document clearly outlining the technology and the purpose behind this particular currency. Because let's face it, there's 700 other currencies, but guess what? None of them have the game plan. None of them have the structure. None of them have the technology. None of them had the latest and greatest in terms of encryption that have been put into the wallets, that have put into the coin, that have been put into the blockchain that this particular currency has. So, number one, it's completely decentralized, which means nobody owns it. Ipro Network does not own Pro. Pro, it's its own thing. And once the development team, put it out there in the marketplace, guys, that's it. Nobody owns it. It's like saying who owns the internet or who owns Bitcoin. Well, who owns it? The people that have it in their wallets. That's it. So this will be a currency. So when I had another gentleman ask me, would we have an exclusive with Pro? No. Nor would we want that, because we want Pro to be used everywhere. Folks, today I was privileged enough to be on a call where I was talking to one of the biggest payment solutions in the world, that there may be an opportunity to add Pro to that platform. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but the opportunity is there. Why? Because we're attracting the attention of the public that understands what cryptocurrency really is and say, hey, this makes sense. How can we be a part of it? And so it's a currency that was developed with a specific purpose, which is to not just be a coin for speculation, but a coin that was actually going to be used in the world of commerce. So completely decentralized, nobody controls it, no private interest group, no banks, no governments, or no sole entity controls that particular currency. It's open source, which means that people are going to be able to grab that open source, which leads me into the next thing, is going to have the ability to mine it with simplicity. Now, early on, that term mining was a big headache. I mean, you really had to geek out. You really had to become a nerd. You really had to understand, hash rates and the hardware and the kilowatts of electricity that were going to be used, that, once you figured out and resolved these mathematical equations and these algorithms, and lucky enough to actually win a block, that exponentially would get even harder and harder and harder. So if I've already lost you guys with this explanation of how complicated mining was, that's how it used to be. Now it's not that way. Why? Because if you and I can agree that technology has evolved over the last 8 years, that digital currency has existed, and that the new expression of the blockchain, the new expression of digital currencies is simpler, faster, more efficient, then you're going to realize that the mining process is going to be it's going to be a piece of cake, and we're going to have trainings on everything. So people that actually want to mine the coin are going to be able to mine it as well with the latest and greatest technology in mining. You're going to be able to buy it and sell it on the open market. Why? Because it's real. Okay, so if I really want you to understand that this is a real currency, not controlled by anybody else. All right, guys. Real quick, I'm just going to go and kind of outline a little bit of the information that some of you might already understand. A lot of you may not. But phase one and this is an update on the Pro side, okay? And these are updates that obviously have been given to us from the development team of Pro in terms of what that strategy looks like. Phase one is to educate the consumer. How do we do that? Well, we do it by allowing the masses to participate in something they're already doing, which is shopping. When they shop online, they earn rewards, and that's probably the best, most efficient way, most innovative way to allow people to earn something of value simply by doing something else that they already know how to do, without having to do any heavy lifting, without having to learn any fancy terminology or doing anything different than they already know how to do. So that's number one. We're not going to talk about that because I think everybody here gets it. That's why you're here. Pro rewards, phenomenal, guys. Never been done before. First to market. Awesome. But then we have the second phase, which is hang on a second. I'm getting a notification here. Can you guys see my screen? Did I lose everybody? Just want to make sure that I'm still on here. Hang on a second, guys. Let me see here. Okay, so can you guys see the screen or not see the screen? Okay, I think some people yes, some people no. Let's see. Let me back up then. Let me back up here real quick. Was everybody on this slide here? Did everybody see this slide that I'm showing right now? Okay, where it says Y Pro. Okay, hey guys, I apologize. I really do. Let's start from the beginning. I'm going to start from the very, very beginning and just start all over. Is that okay with everybody? No, I'm just kidding, guys. No, I'm just kidding. We'll pick it up right through here. Okay. So I think, well, you heard the audio, I'm sure. So this is just kind of telling you, hey, look, it's decentralized, it's open source. You're going to have the ability to mine it with simplicity, and you're going to be able to buy and sell it on the open market. Because why? Because it is real. Now, give me 2 seconds, guys. Let me check my messages here. I just want to make sure that everybody can see this. I'm getting a couple of messages here. Okay. So at the end here, folks, what we have is a currency that is going to have a purpose to it, which is to educate not just the consumer, but to also educate the merchants. And so when you look at phase one has a consumer side, but it also has a merchant side. So that is the second part of phase one, which is educating merchants. Now, what are those benefits? Well, very simple. You educate business owners on what the benefits of digital currency are as a form of payment. Can accept payments worldwide. This is important because this is what triggered me to get involved in the world of cryptocurrency in the first place. Being able to accept it as a form of payment. And when you understand what those benefits are, you're not going to look at credit cards, you're not going to look at bank wires. And that, again, that's not a criticism, that's what we have right now, and it's been efficient till this point. But the next evolution is something that's quicker, faster, more efficient. And so being able to accept payments worldwide with one solution versus having merchant accounts in different parts of the world geographically is just nuts. When you can do it with one solution, which is crypto, and do that every single place in the world as long as they have internet. Less expensive processing fees, no chargebacks, no reserves, and no holdbacks. Phase two is the pro exchange and the pro merchant, and this part here, folks, is really exciting because this is where we dive deeper. This is a point of sale system, which is going to make it easy for people to accept pro as a form of payment. So this is taking it from peer-to-peer to taking from consumer to merchant, and that's the next phase. So the reason I'm showing you this, guys, is not to try and sell you, not to give you another presentation, but you need to understand this because this part of the program here that is being developed from the development side of Pro is important in the overall strategy of why Ipro Network picked this particular currency to promote. So there has to be that synergy, and you have to be equipped, and you have to have the education to understand why there's that synergistic relationship between Ipro Network and Pro, even though they're completely independent of each other. So that merchant application is going to make it simple for a business to start accepting Pro and Bitcoin cryptocurrency as a form of payment. And then lastly, part of phase two, which is the Pro exchange, is being able to convert, and there's only two currencies that are out there currently that can go from digital currency to cash, which means you can link them directly to your bank account and turn them into fiat currency, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Pro wants to be the number 3rd coin that actually hits that. So that really is where we're at in terms of picking Pro as the digital currency that we want to get behind because of the strategy that it has in order to really make a change in the world of digital currency with the innovation and the security and the liquidity that it offers and the usability, which ultimately is what's going to trigger the supply and demand. So, folks, those are some of the key things that we wanted to discuss here today. So moving forward next week, I want everybody to have clarity. You guys are going to be able to see in your back office that checklist, and that checklist is going to be very, very important. We want to make sure that you keep all your people informed. As soon as that is done, that doesn't mean that when your particular checklist is finished, that immediately your commissions are going to run. That's not what it means. It means that once we as a team, as a family, get through that checklist, then everybody's going to get paid at the same time, accurately, and and everybody moving forward from there, everybody's going to be able to get paid on a week-by-week basis. So we got to get through this period of time, folks. We're almost there. Tons of resources and personnel have been put in place to be able to get this all done. A lot of people in the background are working tirelessly 24/7 to get this all done. And so those are the updates, folks. And so I want to thank everybody for participating in this webinar. There's going to be more emails that are going to go out with more updates and more information and step-by-step training to get us through this next week. So thank you so much. Have an incredible night, and God bless.